in studio this evening. He has impacted my life tremendously. You know, when you read it, talk about meeting persons that will really help your life go to another level. And I say this with no apologies. The moment I met him, because I was open to learn and to receive what he was saying and read a few of the books he mentioned, it really, really changed my life. And so this evening, I am really honored to have him here with us on Isaac 98.1 FM and to share his wisdom. I wanted to be a little kind of selfish, but then the Lord talked to me, he just got a little conviction and he's like, no, Madonna, you can't be selfish about it. I'm like, no, I just want him a little longer for myself now. Before Trinidad Tobago got to hear about him, then he started getting that calls. And, how they just do it, right? But I met him first, so I still have that edge. Right? So it's none other than Mr. Roger Moore.
Good night, good night, good night. Oh, applause. Thank you. Good night, good night.
Welcome for the first time to Isaac, the number one family station in the nation, and it's all about family. And we were talking off here even about that, family life.
Business.
Yes.
That's even
that
trend
is
now,
so
family
important,
business.
right?
So I could actually tell you at Cashflow Club we're training a lot of families, entire families. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's one of the few programs where an entire family can train together.
Wow. So many things you're going to learn tonight. So call up a friend, call up a neighbor. You all like to hear conversation about money, but this is going to help you. This is going to help your young person. This is going to help your son, your daughter for that kind of advancement. There's no quick fix, and we have all come to realize that there is none. And once you remain consistent, then you're on your way to the top and you cannot be stopped. So hence the reason we have Roger here this evening talking about, finances, talking about investment, and talking a bit about Cashflow Club. So much information. He's a wealth of information just walking around, Yeah. So this evening, I want you to share with us, with regards to Cashflow Club. I'll start with that first and what is it about, because I didn't know about it before until I met you.
How did you find out about it?
Through you. Well, through interacting with you and you teaching a lot of different things, and then coming to one of the classes.
Okay.
I never knew about it before. Yeah, truth be told.
So lots of people are like now learning about it, and even though it has been around a long time, I'm actually around since 2005. I've been around 17 years. So what this is, it starts with this guy named Robert Kiyosaki, the guy that wrote this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Right.
A 6-time New York Times bestseller, the most successful book on personal finance of all time. Written in over 150 languages worldwide. Basically, in a nutshell, we think this guy figured out how to eradicate poverty. And our task is to kind of use a system to prove it. He invented a concept called Cashflow Clubs, which is like a business school concept, where people could keep on coming back to keep on learning, right? And we started our Cashflow Club in 2005. It's centered around his investing board games and books, but mostly games. The games are the main teaching tool. It teaches a lot of things that are still not in the education system, and it might not be possible to place in the education system because of the technique they use to teach. With an interactive approach, participants remember 90% and more of what they do in a simulation. That compared to classroom style where they remember 20% and less, even with exams, even with cramming, even with projects. They don't remember everything. And they can't apply what they learned after. And we all see the education system consistently failing kids calling kids who can't focus in a classroom, calling them dunce,
Hmm.
purposely placing them in schools that put them in particular jobs and that kind of thing as well. Where if they attend something like Cashflow, they shine like the stars and realize that they're actually geniuses. So we started in 2005, and for the first 4 years, we ran free sessions every single weekend. When Facebook came out in 2007, our sessions increased to Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays free until my mom joined the team in 2008. I think that's when all the free sessions ended because my mom was like, no, business. We have to turn this to business. She went crazy, and that she made some big moves. I think she retired one time, and she made for the first 3 years. She's an accountant, so for the first 3 years of running Cashflow Club, she was against what we we're teaching because we had a different definition of what an asset is, and that's something we'll talk about. So for a while she was against it, telling me I was teaching people shippiness, right? And then I remember in 2008, a lot of people in San Fernando were complaining. I'm from San Fernando originally, but I was in QREP and doing programs in Port of Spain and that kind of thing. So people in San Fernando were complaining they weren't getting any Cashflow sessions. I was leaving out south, you know. So I was under pressure to try to start a session in South and start doing some regular sessions in South. And the only place I could think of was my house in San Fernando because we had an open floor plan. It was I lived there, you know. It's a nice place to hold a big Cashflow session. But somewhere in 2008, he finally agreed to allow me to do a Cashflow session at her home. You know, and around our home at like 50 some people from all over the country because people find me on social media. I'm like an open book, so people find me from all over the country, people who own business, people who poor, people who middle class, people who rich, all kind of people. But we got a lot of support from the general public. When mom experienced that session, that's what changed her, and she immediately joined the team. She left all her job and everything and joined on and for it to become a business, and we started working on our first event, and that's when we purchased the franchise. And it was a franchise at the time to become an official Cashflow Club in 2009, and that's when we started doing paid sessions and that kind of thing, and we kept the sessions going. Most of the Cashflow Clubs focused on events. Big events, money making stuff. Hotels like Hyatt or whatever, they charge $2,000 and they do Cashflow 101 and then have some big line speakers, probably even the Kiyosaki's themselves, and make money. I focus on something different because our goal was poverty eradication to prove that it worked. And Trinidad and Tobago was the perfect country to test it in because it was small and rich. I know you all think it's a backward country, but Trinidad is actually very, very, very wealthy. Right? Take it from a real estate broker. Anyway, so we decided to continue doing courses and not just whole events. So we never brought the Kiyosaki's here to Trinidad and Tobago. We focus on doing courses and focus on training people. And we just never stop. So we train people non-stop, and now that we own Remax, we have an outlet to send our best graduates to. So when you see those Remax signs all over the country, that's actually Cashflow Club, the profitable side of it, because we have to make money to grow. It's a business. Now it's tricky to be profitable with poverty eradication. It's tricky. The trick is to have a consistent bout of that, right? And the Remax franchise giving us that hope to have that consistent cash flow, and so far we seem to be number one in the market right now. We're the largest brokerage. Because we have an extensive training program with Cashflow Club and the interactive sales training, we have the ability to grow the company a lot faster than other companies. So even though we're the largest now, what our competitors don't know is that in about 2 years' time, it might be about 4 or 5 times the size. And that's something that they don't understand, and I don't think they understand that until it happens. But okay, so what is a Cashflow Club? It's a business school that Robert Kiyosaki invented that uses the Cashflow board games to teach investing, business, finance, retirement planning, insurance. Basically teaches people how to get rich. And we've been using it as a teaching tool for the past 17 years. We trained thousands of people. I wouldn't disclose how many people that is, but it's a lot of people. I most likely train at, for the listeners, and I most likely train at least one of your family members or one of your friends. Guaranteed. You just have to go through Facebook and check the pictures. You are going to see somebody you know. I have pictures going back to, what year? 2011, 12? Even still. We trained a lot of people. We've been training since 2005, non-stop. We miss carnival. I don't go parties. I train hard just to be able to do this. I'm most likely going to do this for the rest of my life. Because it's something that, has never been done before. And, I know people panicking about crime and stuff. I don't think that's a big deal. I think that's something that'll go away very soon. As I think COVID kind of speeded things up because we can expect it to get this kind of attention like around like 2025, 2036 because we're already even for 2030. That's like the big. We expect to really get going 2025 to 2030. By then we should be we have the momentum to really face the problem directly. We've been focused on the problem for a long time, but we have a lot of momentum. But the bright side of COVID is that it's bringing a sort of focus on us now that that giving us the ability to anytime there's some sort of economic difficulty coming up like a recession, all we simply do is double or triple our classes. And we've been doing that for a while now.
And that brought a lot of entrepreneurs as well.
It's very easy to create entrepreneurs if you have the right system. And we have figured out what was missing. The missing element is, besides the interactive training, is sales training. Interactive sales training. That's what the school system cannot duplicate. And that's what we have in spades. We do sales training every Saturday. We do stick. Whether class small, whether class big, whether medium size, we have in classes. Even if it's one person we have in classes. And we all even if it's one person mastering sales, it makes money for everybody because sales equals income. You teach a poor person how to sell, they sell and make money. So it empowers everybody when they learn to sell. Even if you have a job and you're a worthless employee, just making one source of income. Trust me, I don't like that. So if we had this discussion tonight, GOB stands for just over broke. If you have one source of income, you're making a big mistake. I'm just saying. But if you're doing that, right, which is a losing strategy, learning to sell as an employee is learning to communicate well. It gives you the ability to rise to a leadership position. So you heard of those janitors that became CEOs of companies. That happens when you learn to sell. You will consistently be in a leadership position. People will want you to speak at events, right? And those skills, again, not taught in the school system. How to sell, how to speak, how to talk to people, how to negotiate, how to turn no's into yeses.
You see why I wanted them for myself earlier? Start. You understand? And my manager must be listening because my sales, in ranking.
Number one skill. So that's what Robert Kiyosaki figured out. And he should win the Nobel Prize because that's literally it. But that's what he was missing in his Cashflow program. We're the only ones in the world that added in interactive sales training. We still are the only ones in the world with added to, and now we have Remax. So now we get to, all this time we've been doing it, but now we get to prove it. And if they don't follow us or they don't keep up, they're gonna get left out.
But what I was hearing you saying in the background, many times persons, even in the school system, may not feel that they are keeping up with the system and what is carved out for them, right? Especially now, because CSEC is in the air. What we would have called CXC back in the day, and what before us would have called GC. So it's up in the air. So with that being said, and like I would always have these kinds of conversations after SEA as well, when a child doesn't achieve what is expected of them from the system, they're usually cast aside. But you were saying it doesn't have to be like that.
It's not like that at all, because you're under the false conception that the brain is static. The brain is not static. In neuroscience, we realize that it's called neuroplasticity. The brain is dynamic. It constantly changes. When you learn something new pathways are made.
That's true.
Constantly. So it constantly changes. So what you have to do is develop your brain. So that's what games do. So I know parents discourage kids from playing games, but games actually build gray matter in your brain. It's scientifically proven. So we see how what happens to kids when they play games. They get very addicted. They have corns on their hands. They forget to use the bathroom. They wouldn't even drink water. They wouldn't even eat breakfast. They're still playing games nonstop for hours, and it horrifies parents because what's wrong with my child? They don't want to do homework. They just want to play video games all day. What if they're learning with that sort of intensity?
And what if they use a particular game? Because I remember at my daughter's school, when they had a parent day, they spoke about particular games that was good, and it actually helped boys improve in the academics.
Like chess, Scrabble, Monopoly.
Right, different games. So therefore, it's the type of game as well that you could channel them so that it could help them. So parents, if you're listening as well, you see, so all is not lost.
Yeah, but what about footballers playing FIFA?
Right.
You have that element as well.
Yeah.
So okay. So another thing in addition to games that also work. I'm a national athlete, and I remember the year I won nationals in 2018. I was 37 because I'm an older athlete, so I have to keep up with science just to keep competitive because my younger players they're really good. And when I won nationals in 2018, right, I could not train as hard as everybody else because I was a CEO. I had a company to run. So I had a lot of time sitting down at the office where everybody else would be on the court training. And I had to figure out, okay, how do I stay competitive with this burden having to run this company and still train like a real badminton player, right? I visualized. I sat at my desk, I closed my eyes, I sat upright, and I visualized being on the badminton court. I visualized doing drills, I visualized playing games, I visualized entire sets, right? I did it so often until my heart started racing, right? In neuroscience, what they realize is that your brain cannot tell the difference between a real event and a simulated event. So if you think something really intensely and you start feeling it, your brain thinks it's real. So new pathways are made, right? So I visualized so often that when I did enter the badminton court, my shots were still sharp, as if I was practicing consistently. And I still use that technique to now. In fact, I use it for other things, and I teach people how to do it in business as well, to become entrepreneurs, to become investors. So, because what holds people back, besides the lack of education, is actually the lack of ability to control their thoughts and their thinking. And once you teach people that, they become unstoppable.
Wow. All right, so in case